Hey folks, Coach Matteo here from Marra Strength, and welcome back to the 7-part video series on how to lose 50 pounds and keep it off for good. In this step, part 2, we're going to talk about tracking your food intake. In the first video, we talked about tracking your body weight. Very important. If you haven't seen that one, go back and watch that. Now, let's jump into this. Your next step, step number 2, and a big milestone here, is to start tracking what you eat. And for the next 2 weeks, I want you to eat at a maintenance level of calories. I want you to keep your body weight stable. We're going to standardize how much food you eat, and we're just going to keep track of what you eat. You're not going to be dieting for fat loss. You're not going to be trying to reduce your food or anything. I just want you to keep it stable. And there are a few reasons for that. 2 main reasons. Firstly, I want you to build awareness of how much total food you're eating and which types of foods you're eating. This is a massive step in the right direction when it comes to managing your body weight long term. Starting to track these foods gives you more awareness of which foods you're actually choosing on any given day and building a conscious habit of conscious food consumption. And it allows you to be more careful with how much actual food you're eating. How much total food you're eating is actually even more important maybe than how much or which types of foods you eat, rather, for weight management. The second reason is taking control of your food intake is pretty much the most powerful weapon you have for managing your body weight and losing body fat long term. Yes, exercising and all this great other lifestyle habits can help, but really taking control of the food side of the equation is your biggest lever. Of all the things that you can do, it's going to help you keep the weight off and lose it faster than anything else. If you have never tracked calories before, you've never tracked your food intake, just quickly, I have a video on my channel that will show you how to track your intake using a software application. It's very simple. You can go watch that. Otherwise, download a free tracking app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. And what you do is when you eat a food, you just journal it in the logging app. Let's say you have 2 eggs. You open up the logging app. You search for 2 eggs. You find it. You click log. And it saves it in your journal and database and shows you how many calories are in it for the day. That's ultimately what it comes down to. If you want a paid application, a paid software, I highly recommend Macro Factor. You can use my last name, code Marra, M-A-R-R-A, for a free 2-week trial. It's got a very sexy UI. It's the fastest food logger on the market, and it's the one I use personally and with a bunch of my clients, so I recommend it. Now, reminder, your goal here for this next 2 weeks is not to lose weight. You're not doing a diet yet. Well, you are. It's just a maintenance diet. Your aim is to keep your body weight stable just for 2 weeks. And why do I recommend this? Again, 2 reasons. Firstly, this is a great opportunity for you to learn how to track your intake or get back into the habit of it if you've been out of the habit of it for a while or you just are brand new to the whole thing. And we don't have to throw some big crazy diet on top of that whole process. Learning to track and just getting back into the groove with it, that's something to do on its own, and that's a big enough challenge that I want you to just focus on that alone for the next 2 weeks. And the second reason is this is going to give us some critical information that we can actually use when it comes time to move your food downwards and do a fat loss diet where we start losing weight over time. Having this 2-week buffer of maintenance diet eating gives us some really good clues about exactly how many calories you burn each day and can help us make more informed decisions about your weight loss diet down the road. How do you know how many calories to eat for your just weight maintenance diet? Really good question. You can either estimate your calories using my free calorie calculator, which you can find on marrastrength.com. I'll leave a link in the description as well. You just enter your body weight, your height, and how active you are, and it'll spit out a pretty good estimate. Or you can multiply your body weight in pounds by the number 15. And for most people who are just like somewhat active, that's going to be a pretty good amount of calories roughly to maintain your body weight. It doesn't have to be perfect. Or lastly, you can use Macro Factor. Like I said earlier in the video, code Marra, M-A-R-R-A, my last name. You can just set up a maintenance diet and it'll spit out a really, really good estimate for you on how many calories you're burning each day. Oh, by the way, I should mention that we have a group coaching program for guys who want to lose 50 pounds or more over the next 6 to 9 months and learn to keep it off for good. I give you everything you need, all your workouts, a nutrition plan, weekly live Q&A calls, and accountability check-ins so you have everything you need to succeed. We're down over 150 pounds as a group collectively already. The energy in the group is fucking awesome. And yeah, we'd love it if you could join us. So send me an email at matteo@marrastrength.com and just put the word 50 in the subject line or somewhere in the body and I'll send you all the details. Okay, go back to enjoying the video. Now, 5 tips for this step. Step number 2 of eating a maintenance diet. Firstly, if you bite it, you write it. Remember that. If you bite it, you write it. We are looking at building the habit of conscious food consumption here. We want you to build the awareness of, oh, I'm about to eat something. Right. I'm going to pull out my phone. I'm going to log it. I want to know that, okay, I'm making a decision to eat something. I'm deciding to eat this certain type of food. I'm deciding to eat this certain amount of this food. So a really big thing that you need to do during this period is just stay focused on logging absolutely everything that you eat. Even if you feel like you eat too much or you ate the wrong foods, whatever, just log it. You're going to pay dividends to yourself by doing that. Second tip, use a food scale when you can. Yeah, using tablespoons and cup measures and things like that to measure out your rice and your potatoes and whatever. Cool, totally valid. It's just not as accurate and can lead to some issues in the tracking process that you just won't run into with a food scale. Because a food scale just tracks literally the weight of the food, and there's not much that can go wrong there. When you put 100 grams of peanut butter into a bowl and it's 100 grams, that's 100 grams, man. There's no fudging that with the tablespoon being level or overpacked or whatever. So use a food scale whenever you can. I know that for most people that's gonna be a little bit of a new thing, and you won't be able to do it probably for every meal. Maybe you have some family meals or something like that, but whenever you can, use a food scale. It's gonna help your progress be more seamless. It's gonna be faster progress, and your long-term progress with this weight loss thing overall is probably gonna be much greater. Thirdly, eat similar stuff whenever you can. If you can repeat the foods that you eat day to day, that's gonna reduce the amount of mistakes that you're gonna make with tracking. It's gonna make tracking faster. If every morning you have Vector cereal with a cup of fat-free Fairlife milk, you log that once, you copy it from day to day to day, and there's an economy of scale that happens there. Maybe to save yourself time, you put out 3 Tupperware containers and you measure out 100 grams of Vector into each one of those, 100 grams of cereal into each. You lid those, you put those on the shelf, they're ready to go in the morning, and now you're making less mistakes and you're saving yourself time with the food tracker and the food scale. Fourthly, eat healthy food, my friend. You know what healthy food is. Plenty of lean meats, low-fat dairy products, whole grains, vegetables, fruits. All that awesome food is gonna help you feel full. It's gonna help you just instantly reduce the overall calorie density and intake of your diet. You'll probably start losing weight just by switching to healthy food. And it's really easy to track. It's way easier to track eggs, potatoes, rice, tomatoes, zucchini, and lean cooked chicken than it is to go out to restaurants and have them adding all types of oils and sauces and flavors that you just don't know the calorie values of. Additionally, bro, their job is to make it taste really good, so you come back, they don't care how many calories are in it. It's really hard when you start fudging around with all those numbers. So mostly healthy foods whenever you can. A little bit of junk food here and there is no big deal. Just track it. If you bite it, you write it. Lastly, and tip number 5, eat a standardized amount. If you can, try and keep your values, relatively stable on what you eat each day. That way, when we see your body weight respond, we know that it's because you're eating a given amount of body weight or a given amount of calories each day. A little bit of variance is totally okay. If you have a 5 or maybe 10% variance at the outside, that's cool. But if you have a 2,000 calorie, maintenance as your goal, eating up to, 2,100, 2,200 calories, not the end of the world. Just try to keep it in that little neighborhood and roughly the same each day. This is gonna make your whole process quite a bit easier when it comes time to push into this next step, where we're gonna focus on the fat loss process and we're gonna actually get the scale moving by modulating that food just a little bit more. So go track your food for the next 2 weeks, get things under control, get them standardized, and in the next video, we'll talk about how to set up your fat loss diet to start seeing some results. Again, my name is Matteo. I'm here from marrastrength.com. Any questions about this stuff, just leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.